Raceway gas station on Wrightsboro Road, not far from the Augusta Mall. But the suspect in this case, Mailin Smith, is now behind bars, charged with aggravated assault on a police officer. Celeste Springer is live outside Doctors Hospital to tell us more about this deputy, Keith Inman.
Personally, and I learned a lot about the impact he's had in our community, even if it was just during a quick stop at the gas station.
And he was like, you need anything? If you need us, call us. So he just always wanted to make sure me and the other girls was okay. And I mean, that's what stood out, because some of them come in there and they don't even speak. But he did. He always spoke.
Shantae Sturgis used to see Deputy Inman all the time when she worked at Circle K. He was one of her regulars, and even though she's got a new job, she said he's still checking in like he always does.
He just wanted to know where I had been, because he hadn't seen me in a while. And when he seen me, he gave me a hug, and he just asked, he was like, where you been at? And I told him I worked at Walmart.
It's memories like these ones she has which make the events of what happened here all the more painful. Former Augusta resident Candace Wheeler remembered Deputy Inman from several years ago.
He would be working like specials, I guess, would be what you would call it, and definitely a perfect member of society, excellent manners, and just an all-around good person.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says Deputy Keith Inman is in critical but guarded condition. And in the meantime,
I prayed for him all night last night that he was going to be okay. And now that I know he's going to be okay, I'm going to continue to pray for him, pray for his kids, because it could have been a whole different situation.
The Deputy J.D. Paw Memorial Foundation is collecting donations on behalf of the Inman family. More information about how you can help will be on our website, wrdw.com. Celeste Springer there reporting live. Thanks so much, Celeste.
Quick warning for parents about this next story. It is disturbing. You might want to hit mute just for a few seconds while we get it on the air. But deputies in Aiken County are looking for a man who they believe has broken into the Aiken County Animal Shelter 6 times in the last year, at least one of those times inappropriately touching a dog. This is what the suspect looks like. Deputies say he takes dogs out of their kennels, but only one of those animals has not been found. The most recent break-in was Sunday. Deputies say they found the dog with trauma to parts of its body. If you know anything about the suspect, call Aiken County Sheriff's Office. Richmond County deputies are asking for your help to find this missing man, 61-year-old Walter Adams, seen Tuesday on Broad Street near 7th. He has diabetes and schizophrenia. He's known to hang out around Walker and Telfair streets. If you have any information, call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office.
For weeks now, the Confederate Monument in
College is no stranger to struggle. For years, the institution's been dealing with accreditation issues and funding challenges.
Just this week, city leaders voted to give
out at Fort Gordon. Payne College is no stranger to struggle. For years, the institution's been dealing with accreditation issues and funding challenges.
Just this week, city leaders voted to give the college more than $1 million from the CARES Act. But now we're learning Payne College plans to start laying off and furloughing workers. The history in its halls.
Payne College contributes a heck of a lot to this community.
Bill Lockett would know about its rich cultural impact. Former commissioner
I was blessed to end up at Payne.
Is also an alumnus, but like its buildings awaiting repair, some argue the legacy needs it too.
It may be struggling, but Frederick Douglass says if there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Payne College says the pandemic hit the institution hard in an already harder situation. School officials tell us layoffs and furloughs will come, but the date and the number of staff are not yet official.
What they need in order to strengthen and grow and flourish, and what they're not currently getting, and how the federal government can help.
U.S. Senate candidate John Ossoff announced today he wants legislation to reduce debt for colleges like Payne and expand healthcare, education, and engineering programs here.
I think we need to make
Meanwhile, the city says it's investing too, $1.4 million CARES dollars, although not without pushback. Some leaders concerned about the total and how it will be used. Payne told us it'll go to laptops, virtual learning tools, training, and resident hall improvements. And it comes after approval already of at least $1 million PPP loan back in May.
Problems with the accreditation. It wasn't because of the education that it was provided. It was because of the finances.
The college lost its accreditation through one agency but gained it through another. Still, legal battles remain, but many hope Payne's future is much like its once prestigious past.
Payne has a history of turning out great students, and we need to preserve that students, that legacy.
Now, for Payne to get that money from the city, Augusta's law department first has to approve a spending list for the university.
And last fall, there were just 415 students enrolled there. Payne told us the numbers dropped even further due to the pandemic. They're working to get us updated totals.
Okay, checking those latest people who only had coronavirus as listed as a cause of death.
Like this picture shows, most people had more than one cause listed on their death certificate, including COVID.
It is one of the only programs of its kind in all of Georgia, and it's right here at AU Health. As Brady Travel explains, doctors are using a new machine not only to help patients, but potentially give them a last chance at survival.
As COVID-19 started to spread, a new program was starting up here at AU, and it came at the perfect time to save lives. This is an ECMO machine. What that stands for is hard to pronounce. What matters is it's giving people a second chance.
It does provide you an opportunity to improve the survival of patients.
Dr. Vijay Patel is a cardiothoracic surgeon. He's been involved since they started developing the adult ECMO program a year ago.
Obviously, we did not have any prediction of what was coming, but this allows us to actually help a lot of COVID patients who may benefit from this.
Several COVID patients already have. The ECMO is a last-ditch effort to give the patient rest.
Their lungs just get so sick that the ventilator is unable to support them as much as they need.
Amy Cato is an ECMO specialist. So no, this machine doesn't run itself. Some specialists may sit bedside for 12 hours at a time in full PPE. After all, it can keep your heart and lungs alive at the same time. So AU added more ECMOs to their COVID unit because it helps save the lungs from more injury.
To rest the lungs and allow the lungs to recover and hopefully see them going home in a safe way.
A machine and really smart minds, giving people a chance at another breath. AU health officials say they do plan to expand the program. They just hope it's not because of COVID-19 spiking again. Reporting in Augusta, Brady Trapnell on your side.
AU Health says their ECMO program is one of only a few in the state for adults, but they also use ECMO in their pediatric units as well.
Just over 80 new university. In a matter of hours, the godfather of Soul's daughter will pay tribute to the man who played her father. Deanna Brown Thomas is in Anderson, South Carolina to speak at an event honoring Chadwick Boseman. Boseman was from Anderson. Deanna's publicist says she plans to thank Boseman for embodying James Brown's true essence in the 2014 movie Get On Up.
He became James Brown for sure. After years of disagreement and a dropped lawsuit, Jones Creek Golf Course in Columbia County finally going up on the auction block. The golf course has been unkept and unused for about 2 years now after problems with flooding led investors to sue the county. In the end, investors dropped the lawsuit and shut down the course. Now they're hoping to sell it. It's up for auction October 1st. Richmond County parents, if your kids still need supplies before school starts Tuesday, you can get some free school supplies tomorrow. The Richmond County DFACS office is doing a school supply giveaway. Starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. They'll go until they're all out. It's at the DFACS office on Old Louisville Road. Your kids have to be with you to pick up those supplies.
And if the kids are in need of a haircut, they can get them for free this weekend too. Parents, all you have to do is register to vote or complete the census. Kenny's Barbershop on Broad Street is giving out free haircuts this Sunday. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, all you have to do is register to vote or fill out the census. Only 4 people will be allowed in the shop at a time.
We are expecting a cold front to move through tomorrow night in chances, but keep your outdoor plans through your Labor Day weekend.
Riley, thanks a lot. It's an election year like no other, and if you remember the Georgia primaries this summer, officials don't want any issues in November.
Richmond County election leaders say they are being proactive to prevent more problems at the polls. Sydney Heiberger tells us it starts with appealing to a younger crowd.
Take brand new voting equipment that requires some technological expertise and add in a global pandemic. And you get a recipe for election day needs that might require a younger generation. It's why the Richmond County Board of Elections is working with the school district to get younger people working the polls. Richmond County Board of Elections partnership with the school system spans well before the pandemic.
We felt like it was a great opportunity to give students the experience, frankly.
But it's never been quite this necessary.
This voting system is of a fairly technical nature.
And anyone with a grandparent knows technology comes much easier to a younger crowd.
For a long time ago, they said that they used to do them on like papers, like on real ballots.
Oliver Hicks was one of the students recruited to work the polls in the primaries. It wasn't just his technological skills that came in handy, it was his age. Elections Director Mailin Ballot says the average poll worker is in their mid-60s, which also happens to be one of the more at-risk COVID populations.
Most of them was saying how they don't really leave home, and they mostly, like, they do leave home, they go somewhere close by so they can hurry and get back.
So far, only 2 out of the 42 Richmond County poll managers have decided to skip the elections this year. But with one of the biggest general elections in history coming up, Ballot says they'll need to staff the sites with more volunteers than usual.
Anytime that we have a presidential election, the number of people required to manage it under normal circumstances is probably a quarter to a third again higher than we would normally use.
And on top of that, they'll need even more volunteers just to clean and ensure proper safety precautions.
We are filling in those gaps. We've got a nice reserve list built now.
And Mailin Ballot tells me their goal is to have a high schooler working at every single polling location. In Augusta, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
Thanks, Sydney. In both Georgia and South Carolina, you will have to request a mail-in ballot. The last day to do that is October 30th.
Just this week, a federal judge ordered the state to accept mail-in ballots until 7 p.m., 3 business days after Election Day. Those ballots do have to be postmarked by November 3rd. If you still need to register to vote, the deadline on both sides of the river is coming up October the 5th.
And to see all of this information again and links to register, just go to our website, Wrdw.com. Many high schools are